Good evening, everyone. I'm Second Lieutenant William Melton. I am currently an engineer officer in LaPorte, Indiana, with the Indiana Army National Guard. I'm also currently in the process of West Lafayette Police Department. My family is really important to me. My Uncle Jim taught me a lot of what it means to really be a soldier and to be a leader. He was Special Forces for many years, and they actually paid him to stop re-enlisting. He's currently a government contractor in D.C., and I was able to actually go and visit him. And he honored me by coming to Purdue and becoming my first salute as an officer. My path to leadership really started more in middle school and in high school with marching band and my church group. I was involved heavily with leading and developing other marching band members through extra time in practice, and also with my church group I set up our Sunday evening youth group church service where I learned to run the sound, run the lights, set up set lists for the church service, and then also perform in the band of the church service. From there, I went to basic training after completing high school for about 16 weeks, where I learned a lot about myself and how much I can challenge myself. From there, I joined Army ROTC at Purdue College of spring of 2014. During the time while I was in Army ROTC, I performed in many different roles as team leader, squad leader, and then operations manager. As the operations sergeant major, I was in charge of the Purdue drill meet. I believe we're coming up on the 76th annual drill meet this year. This includes managing 17 different junior ROTC schools from all around the nation, mostly from 7th Brigade, which Purdue is included in 7th Brigade as well, just to spread out some knowledge on that. And they come here, they flip rifles, they do different movement techniques. It really shows discipline that they are developing. Then I became company commander. As company commander, I was in charge of roughly 60 cadets at one time for accountability, for training, and for making sure that they develop as leaders themselves. At the same time, I was also in a simultaneous membership program with the Indiana Army National Guard, where I had to shadow a company commander or a platoon leader. I had the privilege of going down to Camp Atterbury to work underneath the State Officer Strength Manager. He's the guy who is in charge of all the jobs that officers get placed into when they come into the military. I was able to be the pre-OCS cadre, OCS being Officer Candidate School, for those who want to join the National Guard as an officer, but they already have some credit hours. They can join up early. So what I did as a cadet, while learning to be an officer myself, I taught them how to do troop leading procedures, operation orders, and land navigation. All this led up to me going to advanced camp, which all ROTC juniors have to go to before they become seniors. At this point, I had a bunch of development and NCOs that supported me to where I achieved an outstanding overall evaluation. It was in the top 5% of my entire regiment. So what ROTC has taught me and how we are evaluated is in six different components, which is 3 attributes and 3 competencies. 3 attributes are character, presence, and intellect, and then the competencies are leads, develops, and achieve. For character, we live the Army values, we are disciplined, and we hold ourselves accountable to everything that we do. The Army values being loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Presence being how we hold ourselves, showing up to PT and leading from the front, showing the other cadets that we have everything that we put everything that we have into our work. Being confident and being resilient to anything that comes and pushed our way. Intellect being our mental agility, how quickly we can react to different scenarios and different things that are thrown our way. Sound judgment, being of good moral sound judgment is really important as an officer because you may be tasked with some hard decisions if you do deploy. Leads, leading others, building trust, and leading by example. All this ties into how we communicate well with others, with our team leaders and our squad leaders that as a platoon leader we're in charge of. Developing. This is more about creating a positive environment with those around us, an environment for learning and to develop our junior soldiers. Preparing ourselves is part of this as well as preparing others. We need to make sure that we have goals set for each and for all of our soldiers. And then achieve, get results. How we incorporate the entire team to effectively achieve missions. So all this led to how it takes more than just myself to develop myself. It takes a village. It takes more than just you trying to do everything on your own. It takes those who have already done it that you look up to as role models. So all this comes to a couple of points where I have learned as being a leader. It takes time management. It takes about 1/3 of the time for planning for yourself and then 2/3 of the time for others, making sure that they can do their jobs effectively. If you don't give your soldiers enough time, they're not going to be successful in their mission. The same goes with the civilian world. If you guys have workers, you have to be able to plan quickly, then give them your plan so that they can execute it effectively. Communicating and listening. Communication is probably the biggest thing, which I've already said, but listening is another. If you can't take the time to listen to those who are underneath you about what might be going wrong underneath, or even those above you with what's really going on upstairs, it's not going to be well. Challenge yourself. Do not get comfy with where you are in your life. Always accept new positions of leadership and responsibility. If you are staying in the same place and you're just like, oh, I'm comfy, you're not developing yourself or any others. Being involved with your soldiers. If you're not involved in their lives, like knowing what their kids' names are, or even your coworkers, what their kids' names are, when their birthdays are, asking them how their mom was on their surgery, that type of stuff, you're showing some disconnection between them. Working as a team, even if you don't like each other, you have to find a way to push through that and focus on getting the job done with what you have at hand. And then, most importantly, I think, is to having those role models, those people that you look up to, that you aspire to be, and then surpass them, finding new and more role models. Then becoming that role model for those younger leaders that are coming up behind you. You have to always be leading from the front. So now I challenge you guys to not be comfortable with where you are in your life, to accept that new position, to take on that project that you don't think you can do. Challenge yourself with that way, and know that you are here to develop not just yourself, but others as well. Thank you.